Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Goldentalkz. How have you all been? It's been long. Honestly speaking, I'm sorry I've missed you guys. But do not worry because I am back again now, fully with full packages. Just do me a favor by subscribing to my channel if you've not done so, and also help me tell your friends, your colleagues, your fans, and everyone so that they can join you to enjoy this full package. To begin with, we are going to discuss a crucial matter, something that people are not even aware of it, or they may be aware of it, but they've not really given a deep thought into it, and that is the relationship between adolescence and a physical tree. We are going to talk about the adolescence for like few minutes before we move into the topic proper. The adolescent stage or teenage stage, as some address it, is a rough stage in a human life, yet exciting. So for the teenagers amongst us, you do not need to fear. I use the term rough because it's not always a smooth ride. It's a period of time when one transits from childhood to becoming an adult. For the females, I think it's between the ages 10 to 14 years, and for the males, 14 to 17. A lot of changes occur, like the body change, the psychological changes, and the cognitive change. You begin to discover whom you are and where you really belong. The physical change has to do with the body change, puberty. You begin to release certain hormones which causes your sexual organs to mature. The psychological change has to do with your brain development, your intellectual growth, while your logical reasoning and your emotions fall under the cognitive change, and that is where you develop your moral compass. So you see, a lot is involved. The reason I use the term rough, it's very challenging, but it's an exciting one. You start becoming independent of yourself and begin to explore your own identity. I'm going to stop here on teen development because if I go on this topic, believe me, it will take days. Now let's move into the topic proper. What's the relationship between adolescent stage and the physical tree? They have one thing in common: development. Just as a physical tree, especially a growing one, has to undergo some growth stages before it begins to bear fruit, teenagers have to undergo some processes of development before they can be called fully matured individuals. You may be wondering why I chose to illustrate a physical tree. You will soon know. Let's use an orange tree for our illustration. An orange tree undergoes 4 stages of development. We have this germination stage, we have the juvenile stage, we have the flowering stage, and we have the fruiting stage. The germination stage is when it's first visible from the ground or the soil. The juvenile stage is when it has been identified as an orange tree but hasn't started producing flowers first. It hasn't started flowering. The flowering stage is when it begins to produce flowers, while the fruiting stage is when it begins to bear fruit. Teenagers fall under the third stage, that's the flowering stage, because they experience some changes as we discussed earlier, the cognitive, physical, and the psychological change. Note, at this stage, an orange tree hasn't started producing fruit. So teenagers, you are not matured yet. Let me ask you this question. Without much thinking, can you compare yourself with fully grown, matured individuals? I'll leave you to answer that. Let's listen to this scenario. In an orchard, there are 2 orange trees. One is already at the 4th stage. It has already bore fruit, ripe fruit, while the second is still at the 3rd stage. It's still flowering. And you want to pluck some oranges. Which of them are you going to pluck from? The one that has already bore fruit or the one that is still at the flowering stage? Are you beginning to have a clearer picture of the whole thing? Can the one at the flowering stage compare itself with the one that has already bore fruit? Not at all. So teenagers, never make the big mistake of thinking that you are already an adult. Work on your growth. Let your physical growth harmonize with your cognitive and psychological growth. Work on your transparent skills because they are visible to the world. Please, these transparent skills involves everyone because it is the foundation to maturity. And what happens to a building that its foundation is not strong? It will definitely quake. So if you want to build your self-respect and your individual sense of identity, you must establish it at this stage. But you don't need to worry because I'll help you with some tools at my box for you to achieve that. So all in all, focus on your growth. You have little control over your physical growth, but you have total control over your cognitive and psychological growth. So thank you very much for listening to my video. I believe you all have learned from it. Remember, as I said, this video is for everyone, not just for the adolescents alone. Do me well to share my video with your friends and fans, your colleagues at work. Tell them about my channel. Let them come and join you to enjoy this full package. See you next week. Bye-bye.